I'm going to take you through a 10-minute practice workout where we're going to break that groove down into 4 exercises. We're going to practice each exercise for 2 minutes at 4 different tempos. First exercise goes like this. Okay, and we're going to play that as a kind of 3-beat repeating cycle. So we're starting nice and slowly after 3. And 2, and 3, and... So this is the part of the line that goes from the G sharp minor 7 chord to a G7 chord. So that last note you're hitting there is the G, is the root note of the G7 chord. Okay, speeding up now, 55 beats per minute. And 3, and... Trying to focus on getting a very even sound between the notes that I pluck with my index finger and the notes that I play with my thumb. I'm not using any compression when I practice, so I have to get that evenness just from the way I strike the strings. Okay, here we go. 70 beats per minute. 3, and... So I've written 1 dead note in here. I'm playing that by striking the string with my thumb on my right hand while I mute it with my left hand. But you can add in dead notes on any of the rest strokes here. You can improvise your own dead notes. You can play them with your right hand, your left hand, or you can use a combination of the two. Okay, 85 beats per minute. 3, and... Sorry, I messed up that first one. I'm leaving the mistakes in. Making mistakes is all part of practice. Focus on keeping relaxation in that right hand, nice and loose. Example number 2 is a 2-beat cycle, and it's just a little fill basically. It's a sequence of hammer-ons and pull-offs. So again, we're going to try and get a nice even sound between the hammer-ons and pull-offs. So we're starting with a pull-off on the first string, hammer-on from an open string on the second string, and then a hammer-on from a fretted note from the 2nd fret to the 4th fret on the 3rd string. Okay, exercise 2. And 2, and... Okay, so this is just a little bass fill played using hammer-ons and pull-offs. Trying to get the sound even. So we're playing on 3 strings here, but we want it to sound like one smooth line, not like 3 separate things. Speeding up, and 2, and... Trying to get a really even sound between the sound on each string. Try not to pluck the strings too hard. I know there are some slap bass players who like to play really hard. I think it's hard to get an even sound on the hammer-ons and pull-offs if you play too hard. So I'm plucking the first string with my index finger and the other 2 strings with my thumb. Oh, sorry, missed the counts in there on that first one. 70 beats per minute now. So you've got the chord playing on beat 1 there, which helps. You can just wait for the chord to play and then you play. 1, 1, 1. Okay, 85. So it really takes some concentration at this tempo, trying to get it to sound nice and smooth. Just really focus on making it sound like one smooth line, not like 3 separate things. The third exercise is going to be another 3-beat cycle, and it's going to go like this. So here we go with example 3 at 40 beats per minute. After 3, and 2, and 3, and... Sorry, I messed up that first one. first and the last note with my index finger and on the right hand, and the other notes with my thumb. I'm trying to make sure that I don't accent that last note too much. I'm trying to get an even sound between my fingers and my thumb. 55 beats per minute. 2 and 3 and. Feel free to put in some dead notes here if you want to on those rest beats. It helps the timing. I didn't write a lot of dead notes into this bass groove because I just tend to improvise them. 70 beats per minute. 2 and 3 and. So anywhere where there's a rest stroke, you can play a dead note. You can play it with your left hand, you can play it with your right hand, or a combination of both. Really focusing on just getting an even sound between my thumb and my fingers and my right hand. So no compression, just trying to get the evenness of tone just from my fingers. 85 beats per minute. 3 and. Even with my timing, even with my tone, even with my sound. Now example 4 also doesn't play on the 1. 1, 2, 1. So exercise 4 after 2. And 2 and. So again, we have a rest on beat 1 here. 1. 1. So we've got the chord playing on beat 1. So wait for that chord to play and then you play. Okay, 1 and 2 and. 55 beats per minute. So another hammer on and pull off exercise on the first 2 strings. So hammering on the first string, pull off on the second string. So with my right hand I'm playing that first string with my index finger, on the second string with my thumb. Trying to get that to flow as a nice smooth line. Trying to even out the dynamics with the force that I hit the strings. Okay, speeding up. Okay, requires more concentration as it gets faster. Feel free to improvise some dead notes here on the rest beats if it helps you. It's all about getting the timing and the tone even. Sorry, missed the count in there. 85 beats per minute. It's fast at this tempo. Here we go, last 2 minutes. We're going to play the whole thing all together. And 4 and. 40 beats per minute. And back to the start. So this is based around a jazz 3-6-2-5 progression. So starting on G sharp minor 7, G7, F sharp minor 7, F7, and if you want to, you can resolve onto an open E. Slightly faster. Here we go, 55. Now you'll notice that I've deliberately not used a lot of open strings here. We bass players, we love to play on chords like E and A, where we can use those big open strings. But unfortunately, in real world situations, you often get asked to play slap bass lines in horn player keys like F and B flat. So we need to be prepared to play without using those open strings. Up to 70 beats per minute. mistakes in. It's all part of the practice process. Yeah, so the line resolves onto an E. So if you want to play some of those open string licks, you can play them at the end. So last time at this tempo. Okay, 85.